Yeah. What's good? This is your boy Tone DeShields the second from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just gotta charge it to the game. Y'all know the vibes, y'all know the energy, y'all know where my body be. You feel me? Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I told you guys, we back in action, baby. The action is back. The rule is back. You feel what I'm saying? We got some things to get into. We got a lot to talk about. This thing is fluid right now. This free agency game, what we're watching right now is fluid. And there's some people who may be disappointed. There's some people who's upset. There's some people who are indifferent. There are some people who are trying their best to play it cool. There's some people who still have faith in the Most High, that is Howie Roseman. There's some people who are questioning Howie Roseman's lack of movement. There's some people questioning the Jordan Davis contract. There's some people questioning whether or not A.J. Brown will be here for the 2026 season. There's even people out there questioning if the Eagles are going to pay Jalen Carter or trade Jalen Carter. So many questions, not enough answers, but it's okay. That's why I'm here. That's why I am the people's champ. That's why I'm your favorite. But I'm also your most hated. Let's get into it. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. You're tuned to the Chalk It Up Sports. If you're just joining us, NFL free agency has been underway. There's been a ton of movement, a ton of moves that's been going on right now. And I don't know where to begin, but the reality is we're going to start with the Eagles. We're going to start with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the biggest target on the wall right now. So, since extending our guy Jordan Davis, right? Keep in mind Jordan Davis earned and received a 3-year extension for $78 million, $65 million guaranteed, with an average annual salary of $26 million. Now, if you want to bring out the calculator, and if you only want to focus on the guarantees, which is what really matters, 65 divided by 4 is 16.25. So $16 million and $25. Now, I know you guys are saying, Tone, that's 3 years, not a 4-year. It's a 3-year extension, not a 4-year extension. Remember, he still has that 5th-year option. They converted that money from the 5th year into bonus money, bringing his cap hit down. So if you just focus on the guaranteed dollars, they essentially got Jordan Davis for an average annual salary of $16.25 million. Now, obviously, he has to come in and earn it every single year, and his goal was to make all of that money. But you got the player for 4 years. You gave him $65 million guaranteed. Who knows if he's going to get and hit all his incentives? So you, in theory, spent today an average of $16.25 million. But now the Eagles have, by keeping Jordan Davis, they had to make some tough decisions. And there's going to be more tough decisions where that came from. But the Philadelphia Eagles have lost some key contributors. They lost some key guys to their Super Bowl rosters. Let's start with the first move. The Eagles lost Jaelan Phillips today. Jaelan Phillips signed a massive contract with the Carolina Panthers. And that move is interesting to me. By the way, congratulations, Jaelan Phillips. Baby on the way. Just celebrated a baby shower. Congratulations to Jaelan Phillips and his family. His first opportunity at a big payday. You take that money, big dog. I'm not mad at it. 4 years, $120 million, $80 million guaranteed. In the Carolinas are a beautiful place to live. Not mad about that. They have a great fan base. They have a great fan base down there. But it's interesting because I paid attention to their fan base, and they said we signed Jaelan Phillips to the contract we were afraid to give Brian Burns. Yet Jaelan Phillips has more questions surrounding his production in the NFL. That's what the Carolina Panthers fans are saying. That's what the Panthers fans are saying. That's not what I'm saying. I think their logic is sound, though. Their logic is very sound. They had Brian Burns in hand, and they could have had Brian Burns for the next 3 or 4 seasons. They elected to trade him to the New York Giants. They traded him, right? Or did he walk in free agency? I can't remember. Regardless, he ended up with the New York Giants. And they felt more comfortable giving that money to Jaelan Phillips than they did to Brian Burns. I don't know what that's about. I'm not a Panthers fan, but that's what their fan base is saying. Nonetheless, congratulations to Jaelan Phillips. Now, how do the Eagles recover from this? Jaelan Phillips, the Eagles traded for him mid-season. They traded for him to bolster that defense, and we saw him do just that. We saw Jaelan Phillips add something to that defense. Let's not pretend like we didn't see what we saw. The numbers maybe didn't match that, but if you had eyes, you saw what Jaelan Phillips' impact was on the Eagles defense. So now the Eagles take a hit on the edge. They take another hit in the edge rusher room. And by the way, they don't have too many edge rushers under contract right now. As of right now, under contract, they have Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith. Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith. Right now, the Eagles have no other edge rushers under contract. Uche is not under contract. He signed a one-year deal. Ojulari was on a one-year deal last year. Brandon Graham, same thing. Obo Okoronkwo, same thing. One-year deals all across the board. You had tried to get Zadarius Smith for that season, but he left mid-season. Lord knows why. So you take a hit on the edge rusher room. The Eagles have no edge rusher depth. None. And in theory, both of their edge rushers aren't really traditional edge rushers. Jaelan Phillips, the way he's built, his body construction, Jaelan Phillips like 6'5", 6'6", 265. That's how you want your edge rushers built. Long arms, can get to the quarterback, can hold up in the run game. That's how you want them built. That's not really how Jalen Hunt is built. That's not really how Nolan Smith is built. They're more athletic guys. Jalen Hunt is probably the most versatile one between Nolan Smith. Jalen Hunt can drop back in coverage and get to the quarterback. He proved that. Nolan Smith, more of a pass rusher, not much of a guy that can drop back. We know Vic Fangio likes to drop back his edge rushers, but Jaelan Phillips is now gone. What's Howie Roseman's pivot? What's Howie Roseman's pivot? That's a big question. At this point, you now have to go to and figure out who's left out there. Now, I know the Eagles are going to draft some edge rushers. I'm pretty sure they're going to do that. I have no doubt in my mind they're going to do that. But you do have to see what's available out there. You have to find out exactly what the pool is at the position. As of right now, Jaelan Phillips signed the largest contract of the weekend so far. Not the most guarantees, but the largest contract. $120 million, $80 million guaranteed. Wide receiver Alec Pierce signed a 4-year extension. $114 million, $84 million in total guarantees. Odafe Owe, the edge rusher from the Chargers, signed a massive deal, $100 million, $68 million guaranteed with the Washington Commanders. Former Baltimore center Tyler Linderbaum signed a 3-year deal, $81 million in total, $81 million fully guaranteed. Wow, they guaranteed his entire contract. $60 million guaranteed at signing, though. Woo! Wan'Dale Robinson got a big payday from the Tennessee Titans, from the Giants. When Wan'Dale Robinson was a Giants wide receiver. Now he's with the Titans, 4 years, $78 million, $38 million guaranteed. Average salary, $19.5 million. Malik Willis got a big payday. Sean Mannion's guy, the former Green Bay backup, signs with the Miami Dolphins. 3 years, $67.5 million, $45 million total guarantees. The Miami Dolphins are betting on him. So those are just a few names that got signed. There's plenty more. We're going to try to get to all of them, but I want to get to who's available. We got to get to who's available right now. Keep in mind, Tyreek Hill is very available. I'm surprised Tyreek Hill didn't get picked up, but we know that injury. Trey Hendrickson, the 31-year-old edge rusher, is available right now. You got Juwan Taylor, right tackle, who's available. Taylor Decker, left tackle, who's available. Cornerback, Marshawn Lattimore. Trevon Diggs, cornerback, who's available. Christian Kirk at wide receiver. Debo Samuel is available. Braden Smith, right tackle, is available. Elgin Jenkins, former Green Bay center, is available. Let's get to what we're concerned about, though. Edge rushers, edge defenders. As of right now, on the open market, you have Trey Hendrickson, 31 years old. Hassan Reddick, 31 years old. Joey Bosa, 30 years old. Danico Autry, 35 years old. Leonard Floyd, 33 years old. Arturo Gross-Matos, 28 years old. When you look at the free agent market as it pertains to the edge rusher position, now it's starting to make sense why Jaelan Phillips got that money. Are you guys following me? Now it's beginning to make sense how and why Jaelan Phillips got that money. He was damn near the only edge rusher on the market outside of Trey Hendrickson. You factor in Jaelan Phillips' age, 26. You factor in his size. You factor in the raw talent. Granted, he did suffer 2 season-ending injuries in 2023 and 2024. That is a fact. That is a fact. But he was fully healthy this year. Played all 17 games. That's a feather in his cap. So Carolina is betting on the upside of the player. They're betting on them hitting Jaelan Phillips or accruing, bringing in Jaelan Phillips as he's scratching into his prime. Can he or will he stay healthy throughout the duration of the contract? That all remains to be seen. But I wanted the Eagles to bring Jaelan Phillips back. The rumor was the Eagles were trying to maintain the integrity of that defensive line. That's Jalix Hunt, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Jaelan Phillips. Those were your starters last year. Nolan Smith was a rotational guy. You had BG rotating as well. So now the edge rusher position is depleted yet again. Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt, you need more there. You need more there. I know they're going to draft one, but they need more there. So are the Eagles eyeing Trey Hendrickson? He's probably the biggest name left. And then after that, you got Hassan Reddick, Joey Bosa. You know, Von Miller's there. AJ Epinensa's there. But Jadeveon Clowney's there. Marcus Davenport. So I think you also have who else? You got Calais Campbell there. He's old though. Look, the bottom line is the free agent market for edge rushers, no supply, all demand. Congratulations, Jaelan Phillips. Let's move on, though. They also lost wide receiver Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson signed a 2-year, $15 million deal with the Atlanta Falcons, $10 million in total guarantees, average annual salary of $7.5 million. And by the way, you guys, before I get too far away, as much as I'm happy for Jaelan Phillips, I'm also happy that Howie Roseman didn't overpay. Because I told you guys the other day, free agency is the land of overpaying. It's the land of overpaying. If you allow a guy to get to free agency, if you're trying to sign guys through free agency, you're going to overpay. You're going to price yourself out. To see Jaelan Phillips get $30 million a year, $30 million a year, based off of the 4-year, $120 million, but they guaranteed him $80. So in theory, $20 million a year, that's guaranteed for him. Not a bad living for him. He has to hit incentives, I'm sure. But they essentially guaranteed 3 years out of that deal. Essentially. They essentially guaranteed him 3 years out of the deal. Almost 3 years. I commend Howie Roseman for walking away from the crap table. There's a skill in knowing when to walk away from the poker table. Sometimes you got to fold. Because Howie knows that he's going to have to pay Jalen Carter. He's going to have to pay Quinyon Mitchell. He's going to have to pay Cooper DeJean. Maybe he extends Zach Baun. He's got to figure out Jalen Hunt at some point if he keeps him. Nolan Smith, whatever his future holds. Jordan Davis has already been taken care of. I think Milton Williams is going to be as good as gone after this season. I'm sorry, not Milton Williams. Moro Jomo, pardon me. I think Moro Jomo is going to be gone. He's priced himself out of Philly as well. This is what happens, you guys, when you draft well, you develop well, and guys play well. You can't keep everybody. It's the lay of the land. It's baked in. You can't keep everybody. So this is what happens. It's a good problem, you guys. I know it stings. But this is what happens when you win. You win big. You draft guys. You develop guys. You allow guys to show their value and play. I mean, you coach guys well. This is what happens. This is what happens. There was no way the Eagles were keeping Nakobe Dean. No way. Even after losing Jaelan Phillips, I knew Nakobe Dean was going to get paid. I talked about it with you guys. I knew Nakobe Dean was going to get that money. I knew Jahan Dotson was walking. I knew the Eagles weren't going to think twice about trying to invest in Dotson long term. I knew that already. And for them to feel comfortable letting Dotson walk, we'll find out what happens with the A.J. Brown situation. But Jahan Dotson signs to the Falcons 2 years, $15 million, $10 million in guarantees, average annual salary of $7.5 million. Congratulations to Jahan Dotson. $10 million in the bank. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. $10 million in the bank. You can take care of your mom and your pop with that. You know what I mean? You can make sure your people's good. And I'm sure he's been doing it already, but $10 million in the bank, you got a chance to earn 5 more. Dotson, congratulations. Dotson has been a utility guy for the Eagles the past 2 seasons. He's been a guy that came in the clutch, earned his Super Bowl ring. I'll tell you that much. Big catch. Showed up in big opportunities. Hardly ever dropped the football, if ever. So I think Jahan Dotson deserves an opportunity with the Falcons. You pair him with Drake London. And I think they got the other kid, is it Ray McLeod? Right? I think they got Ray McLeod over there too. So they got some talent over there. Dotson has a chance to creep into that number 2 role as far as receivers go. Congratulations to Jahan Dotson. I knew the Eagles weren't going to bring him back. Now you got Devontae Smith, you got A.J. Brown, as it remains to be seen. Darius Cooper, he'll have an opportunity to earn that number 3 spot. I like that for him. He has to earn it, though. Johnny Wilson's coming back off injury. We'll see what they do with him. So you lose Jaelan Phillips to the Panthers. You lose Jahan Dotson. Nakobe Dean, linebacker, signs to the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. 3 years, $36 million, $20 million guaranteed, $12 million average annual salary. Nakobe Dean, I'm not even mad at you, brother. Everything you've endured injury-wise for you to still play as well as you played last year in the second half of the season and do what you did the Super Bowl year. Unfortunately, you got hurt when you did. But Nakobe Dean completely beat the odds when everybody was doubting him, even myself. Nakobe Dean showed that he was a pivotal part of that defense. We saw Nakobe Dean even beating out Jahad Campbell for snaps, and Jahad Campbell was playing a lot. But once Nakobe Dean came back, we saw Fangio bring in the OG, so to speak. And I thought that Nakobe Dean-Zack Baun combo was spectacular. But now you don't let Nakobe Dean walk if you're not prepared to let Jahad Campbell fly. You don't let Nakobe Dean walk if you're not prepared to let Jahad Campbell fly. I'm going to miss Nakobe Dean. The Georgia boys can't stay together for life. It's not college. Sometimes good things come to an end. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. It is what it is. You scouted them, you drafted them, you developed them. You couldn't pay them. This is what happens when you draft well. This is what happens when you develop well. This is what happens when you win a lot. Everybody wants your guys. Nakobe Dean, congratulations to Jahad Campbell. It's your time now. It's your time now. Zack Baun, Jahad Campbell. And I think Jahad Campbell is probably the overall better talent, but Nakobe Dean was so sound, so technically savvy, knew exactly where to be, came downhill. I love seeing Nakobe Dean fly downhill. That dude was a battling ram. I loved it. But Jahad Campbell, now's your opportunity. Now's your opportunity. Big opportunity for you. On top of that, I like the depth at linebacker, believe it or not. I like the depth at line. I like having Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in the building still. I like that you got Smile Mondon. I like that. Trotter Jr. is entering year 3. He's going to challenge Jahad Campbell. I think Jahad Campbell wins the job ultimately, but Jeremiah Trotter gave Jahad Campbell a run for his money last year. Let's not forget about that. You still got Smile Mondon, a guy you drafted last offseason, a developmental piece. I like Smile Mondon. So I think that linebacker position, you have some pretty good depth there still after losing to Nakobe Dean. Still. But you got to replenish that edge. The Eagles also lost Reed Blankenship. He also lost Reed Blankenship. Now, I knew Reed Blankenship wasn't coming back, personally. Again, a lot of these guys I knew wasn't coming back. I thought the Eagles had a chance at Phillips, though. I thought they had a chance. But I mean, you can't argue with 4 years, 120 million, 80 million guaranteed, 30 million a year. The Eagles weren't competing with that. They weren't competing with that. That's what a Jalen Carter contract is going to look like. But Reed Blankenship, former safety for the Eagles, signs a 3-year, $24.75 million deal with the Houston Texans, $16.5 million fully guaranteed, an average annual salary of $8.25 million. Reed Blankenship, congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations, Reed Blankenship, because when you think about Reed Blankenship's journey, coming out of Middle Tennessee, undrafted, played on 2 different Super Bowl teams for the Philadelphia Eagles, was pivotal in both runs. He's a Super Bowl champion, a team captain, beloved in the city, beloved by the team, an exciting white. Reed Blankenship has completely built his game from the ground up. Is he the most athletic, the most gifted? No. But he's smart. He's savvy. He knows where to be. He's downhill, plays the run well. He's a leader. He stays healthy. He's taking the ball away for the Philadelphia Eagles at minimum 3 to 4 times a season. That's a big deal. That's a big swing to have a safety that can guarantee you 3 to 4 interceptions a season. Reed Blankenship did that for the Eagles for about 2 or 3 straight seasons. So you factor that in, and then on top of that, Reed Blankenship just got married, baby on the way. You got to get that. You got to secure that long-term money. You got to secure that generational wealth. This is beyond football. Guys got to make life decisions. Life decisions. Jalen Phillips, go get that money, boy. Nakobe Dean, go get that money, boy. Jahad Dotson, go get that money, boy. Reed Blankenship, go get that money, boy. Go get that money. I can't argue with it. Can't get mad at it. I knew this would happen. I didn't know how much money these guys would get, but I knew this would happen. But it wasn't for nothing. The Philadelphia Eagles would get 4 comp picks. And they're going to get some more, by the way. The Eagles would get 4 comp picks. Well, let me put you this way. The Eagles are going to get 3 more comp picks for the 2027 NFL draft after losing Jalen Phillips, Nakobe Dean, and Jahan Dotson. I'm unsure if they're going to get one for Reed Blankenship, but the Eagles are guaranteed 3 comp picks for the 2027 NFL draft. For the 2026 NFL draft, the Eagles will secure their 4 comp picks. A 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, a 5th rounder, and a 6th rounder. They got those 4 picks after losing Milton Williams to the Patriots, Josh Sweat to the Cardinals, Mekhi Becton to the Chargers, and Isaiah Rodgers to the Falcons. And all 4 of those players played well for their teams. Mekhi Becton battled injuries here and there for the Chargers, and he just got cut. But another group of guys that you couldn't afford to keep. You couldn't afford it. You can't keep everybody. This is the price you pay when you win, and you win big. This is the price you pay. This is the price you pay. You feel me? So I can't really get upset about it. I cannot get upset about it, you guys. Once again, Jaelan Phillips signs to the Panthers, 4 years, $120 million, $80 million guaranteed, an average annual salary of $30 million. Eagles wasn't paying that. Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, signs to the Falcons, 2 years, $15 million total, $10 million fully guaranteed, an average salary of $7.5 million. Congratulations to Dotson. Nakobe Dean, linebacker, anchor for the defense, signs to the Las Vegas Raiders, 3 years, $36 million, $20 million fully guaranteed, an average annual salary of $12 million. Reed Blankenship, former safety, former team captain for the Eagles, Super Bowl champion, all these guys are. Signs to the Houston Texans, 3 years, $24.75 million in total, and $16.5 million guaranteed, an average annual salary of $8.25 million. So these guys got paid, man. These guys got paid. And they deserve it. They deserve it. So, like I said, Eagles get 4 comp picks after losing Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Mekhi Becton, and Isaiah Rodgers in the 2025 free agency period. They're going to get 3 more comp picks for the 2027 draft after losing Jaelan Phillips, Nakobe Dean, and Jahan Dotson. I'm still unsure if they're going to get another one for Reed Blankenship. But let's focus on the 2026 NFL draft now. After getting their 4 comp picks, after losing Milton, Sweaty, Becton, and Isaiah Rodgers, the Eagles now have 9 draft picks in the 2026 NFL draft. The Eagles have their first rounder, which is 23rd overall. They got their second rounder, which is 54th overall. They got their third rounder, 68th overall from the Jets. They got another third rounder, pick 98, which is the comp pick. They got a fourth rounder, pick 122, which is their pick. They got another fourth rounder, pick 137, which is a comp pick. They got a fifth rounder, 153rd overall. They got that from the Falcons. They have another fifth rounder, 178 overall, which is a comp pick. And they got a sixth rounder, 215th overall, which is a comp pick. So before the comp picks came through, the Eagles only had 5 picks. After the comp picks come through, now you got 9. So, look, I can't be upset about what happened here. I can't be upset about what happened here because we knew this would happen. Right? So now it becomes, what's the plan, Howie? What's the plan? Because the Eagles are going to, okay, first let's think about it like this. Let's think about it from this perspective, okay? Let's start here. We've heard A.J. Brown trade rumors. Now we're hearing Jalen Carter trade rumors. Hey, America, you will never get Jalen Carter. You're barking up the wrong tree. Ain't that how they say it? You're barking up the wrong tree, pal. If you think Jalen Carter's available, you got another thing coming. Don't think because Jordan Davis got his check, that don't mean Jalen Carter don't got a check coming down the pop line. As a matter of fact, Jaelan Phillips made it easier for us. He made it easy for us. You will never get Jalen Carter. Y'all tried it over the past, what was it, the past 24, 48 hours. They tried it, right? They tried it, didn't they, y'all? Soon as Jordan Davis got paid, you know what they did? They tried to hit us with the JC. They tried to hit us with the JC cap. Hey, yo, am I tripping? The moment JD got his money, you know what the media said? Hey, Jalen Carter may be available. Yo, they can't be for real. They tried it, though. It lasted, what, 24, 48 hours? How long did it last? How long did it last? Like 24, 48 hours? They tried it, right? Eagle Scout Room, they tried it. Come on. You think Howie Roseman is letting Jalen Carter walk out the building? They smoking dope. They smoking wet. They smoking angel dust. They are tripping. Stop the cat. Let's see what we got here. We got some super chats, y'all. Let's get to these. The Master Avenger with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Avenger. I appreciate you. He says, Jaelan Phillips is robbing folks. Hey, listen, I'm not even mad at him, man. Go get your cash. Go get your cash, big fella. I'm not mad at Jaelan Phillips. I can't get mad. We traded for him. He was here for, what, 6 games? What? He spent 6 games in Philly? Is that how many games he played? Like 6, 7 games? 8? I can't get mad. He didn't owe us nothing. He had a good time here. They tried to bring him back, and he took the big bag. Got a baby on the way. I can't get mad at that, man. 120 million, 80 million guaranteed. Listen, man, I could visit Philly on vacation. If it was me, deuces. Deuces, Philly. It's just that if that's me, I'm on the first flight out of here. First flight out of here. The Carolina Panthers is betting on the upside, which is hilarious because they had Brian Burns in the building, and that's all he wanted. They could have paid Brian Burns less than that. And I think Brian Burns has proven to be a better edge rusher than Jaelan Phillips so far. Let me look at Brian Burns' stats. Brian Burns has been a menace the past few seasons. Let me look at this real quick. Brian Burns is coming off of a 16.5 sack season. Are y'all kidding me? Are y'all kidding me? Brian Burns is a 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time second-team All-Pro. He has 71 sacks in the past 7 years. He's averaging over 10 sacks a season. Jaelan Phillips, on the other hand, 5 years in the league, 28 sacks. Has 2 seasons that were cut short with ACL injuries. The Carolina Panthers, they're slow. I love their fan base, though, because their fan base ain't stupid. The smart ones ain't stupid. Congratulations, Jaelan Phillips. This ain't really got nothing to do with you. This is more so about the Carolina Panthers malpractice. You had Brian Burns in the building. You had him in the building. And y'all kept playing with his money. And y'all could have had him under contract right now. But instead, you let him walk because you thought he was a flash in the pan. And you signed somebody and gave them way more money, and he's not even as good as them. How much is Brian Burns making right now? I got to find out. Brian Burns. How much is Brian Burns making right now from the Giants? Because they paid him. Brian Burns right now, Brian Burns signed a 5-year, $141 million deal with the Giants. With an average salary of $28.2 million. They guaranteed him $76 million. You gave Jaelan Phillips $30 million a year when you could have got Brian Burns for $28.2 million a year. And you had him in the building already. and he's way more productive. And he's healthier. Shout out to Jalen Phillips. Once again, this ain't got nothing to do with you, big dog. But the Panthers, they're idiots. The Panthers are idiots, and their fan base know it. Their fan base knows it. They know it. You had Brian Burns. Anyway, let me not. Anyway, DJ Semo with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, DJ. He says Nakobe Dean was offered a similar deal by the Cowboys, but he went with his gut feeling and signed with the Raiders per Slater of the NFL. Listen, Nakobe Dean, I got so much respect for that dude. I really, really do. Nakobe Dean is a good dude. He's a great teammate, a great leader. And he did what was best for him and his family. I'm not mad at it. And I think the Raiders, they're going to be well coached by Clint Kubiak. They're getting some pretty good talent, if you ask me. The Raiders have gotten some good players. The Raiders have signed Tyler Linderbaum at center, Quay Walker at linebacker, Nakobe Dean at linebacker, Jalen Naylor at wide receiver, Kwity Paye on the edge. They re-signed Eric Stokes at corner. They signed defensive end Malcolm Kunci, and they traded for Taron Johnson at corner. So they've loaded up on defense, especially at linebacker, and on the D-line. I think the Raiders are having a fantastic day, if you ask me. Raiders are doing a fantastic job. Now, will it all come together? It all remains to be seen. But they know what division they're in. They know they got to deal with the Chargers, and they got to deal with the Chiefs. They know they got to deal with the Broncos. I like what the Raiders are doing. I like it. I can't front on the Raiders. I like what they're doing. But here's the thing, right? You know, watching the Eagles lose these players, you know, a lot of people are going to be down on the Eagles. A lot of people. And I know a lot of people feel like the Eagles blew a major opportunity. And I agree with you. Blew a major opportunity because their offense couldn't get their heads out of their you-know-whats. They blew a major opportunity. They had a chance to really do it again. They had a chance to do it again. And they blew it. You got to live with the results. And overall, we have to sit here and let Howie Roseman work. I know that's a lot to ask of you guys right now, because you're watching other teams making moves. You're watching other teams bring in talent. But we all know at the end of the day, you don't win the Super Bowl through free agency. You don't win the Super Bowl in March. You don't win the Super Bowl in March. And the Raiders got 2 firsts for Crosby. Let's talk about that part. Let's talk about, the Raiders, they cooking right now. I'm gonna be honest. The Raiders cooking right now. But you don't win the Super Bowl in March. You don't. Overall, though, the pieces got to come together. You got to draft well. You got to coach well. You got to take advantage of opportunities. You got to stay healthy. Right? You got to execute. Some things got to swing your way. You don't win the Super Bowl in March. You don't. You don't. So I am looking forward to what's to come from Howie Roseman. I'm looking forward to what's to come. I'm looking forward to what's to come through free agency, through the draft. You guys, we're not going to see a big splash. We're not. That's done. At best, we see Jalen Carter get his extension. I'm not even sure if he gets it this year. Maybe they try to give it to him to try to get ahead of it. We still don't know what's going to happen with A.J. Brown. We just don't know. But I'll tell you this. Now that I'm looking at your defense, no Nakobe Dean, no Reed Blankenship. No Jalen Phillips. Going to be a challenge to replace that, but I have faith in Jahad Campbell stepping up. I really, really do. I really do. You still got Moral Jomo on his roster. Ty Robinson, young buck. It's time. It's time. It's time for Ty Robinson to take that next step. Byron Young. I like our depth at D tackle. So let's go step by step, right? At D tackle, I like our depth still. D tackle depth, still fantastic. The edge, we got a problem there. You only got Nolan Smith and Jaelan under contract. You need players. You need players there. Are you going to draft one of these edge rushers out of this upcoming draft? Who's the best edge rusher right now in the draft? Can you find your way to get one of them? Ruben Bain out of Miami. David Bailey out of Texas Tech. Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. Peter Woods out of Clemson. TJ Parker out of Clemson. Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma. Edge rusher has just become a priority in this draft. You have to leave this draft with one of the top edge rushers. You have to. You have to. Let's keep it going. So D tackle, you're still good there. Edge rusher, you're depleted. You need bodies there. You need talent there. Linebacker, I still like the talent there. Zack Baun, Trotter Jr., Small Mondon, Jahad Campbell. I still like the talent at linebacker. Maybe you draft another guy, but I still like the talent at linebacker. Zack Baun came off of a really, really good season. It wasn't his all-pro season, but I felt like Zack Baun played at an all-pro level, a Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler this year, if I'm not mistaken. He was a Pro Bowler. Back-to-back seasons, Pro Bowl performance. So Zack Baun is coming off of back-to-back strong seasons, back-to-back elite seasons. You got Jahad Campbell, a young guy you got out of Alabama in the first round, fell to you, I think at pick 29, pick 30, something like that. Or was it pick 31? I can't remember when. Pick 31. 6'3", 235, long arms. Fast, athletic, can drop back in coverage. can play the run, just has to sharpen his instincts a bit. I think Jahai Campbell will be fine. I think Jahai Campbell will be just fine. 80 total tackles on the season, played all 17 games, an interception, 44 solo tackles, 36 assisted. Didn't have any sacks, didn't have too many TFLs, but he played well in coverage. Has a forced fumble, 3 pass deflections. He's rangy. Can run solid out the sideline. I like Zack Baun and Jahai Campbell. Jahai Campbell's another year in the league. He's going to be just fine. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and Ismail Mondon, I like those depth pieces. Maybe you get another guy. So DT, you're good. Edge, you need talent. Linebacker, I think you're pretty good there. Corner, Quinyon Mitchell, Nakobe Dean in the slot. I'm sorry, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean in the slot. You need a cornerback too. You need a CB2. You lost Reed Blankenship to free agency. You need a safety. Right now, the only safeties you have under contract are Andrew Nakobe and Sidney Brown. The Eagles did restructure Michael Carter II's contract. So, and Michael Carter II is a nickel. So, right now in the DB room, you have Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Andrew Nakobe, Sidney Brown, Michael Carter II, Keely Ringo, and Jacorian Bennett. We know Keely Ringo was awful. We're not even going to entertain that. We know Keely Ringo is awful. He's awful. We're not even going to act like that means anything. So right now your best DBs are Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Andrew Nakobe is coming off of an injury. I think he hurt his ankle. So what will he be in year 2? I think Nakobe put up some good tape, had some highlights, had a couple low lights, but he was a rookie, and I expected him to have some growing pains. I think Nakobe is actually going to be a good player. Just has to get on the field and stay healthy. Sidney Brown, athletic, fast, can hit. I still don't think he's as skilled as Andrew Nakobe. I don't think he has Andrew Nakobe's instincts and coverage. And also, I think Andrew Nakobe still has to develop more in coverage. He can take the ball away. He's athletic. He had a couple lapses in judgment. But I think Nakobe has the higher upside between those two. So you need DBs, you need a corner, you need safeties, and you need edge. Those are the 3 positions on defense that you need. Corner, safety, and edge. Be on the lookout for that in this year's draft. I'm looking at some of the guys now. You got Caleb Downs at safety. You're not going to get him. That's over with. You got Mansour Delaney out of LSU, the cornerback. You also have Avion Terrell out of Clemson. You got Jamad McCoy out of Tennessee at corner. You also have Colton Hood out of Tennessee. He's a corner as well. You have Chris Johnson out of San Diego. Oh, I'm sorry, out of what school is this? San Diego State. You got Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon. You got Brandon Cisse out of South Carolina. So you have to replenish that DB room. You got to get edge rushers, safeties, corners, and edge. That's your needs on defense. You get to the offensive side now. If everything holds true, Jalen Hurts at quarterback, obviously. You got Tanner McKee as your backup. We're not worried about that. Saquon Barkley, Tank Bigsby, and Will Shipley at running back. We're not worried about that. You lost Dallas Goedert. You lost Grant Calcaterra. No Kylan Granson. You still have Cameron Latu on the roster, but you need tight end help. You need tight end help. Either you're going to sign Njoku, because I'm looking at the tight end market right now. Who's available at tight end? Right now, the biggest name at tight end is David Njoku. He's 29 years old. You got Jonnu Smith, who's 30. Dallas Goedert, 31. Taysom Hill, 35. Zach Ertz, 35. Will Dissly, 29. Foster Moreau, 28. Tyler Conklin, 30. Johnny Munton, 31. Darren Waller, 33. The free agent market for tight ends is not great. Not great at all. Yeah. Yeah, my man just texted me. Hold on, let me send him the link to the show, man. Make sure he locked in. Shout out to my man Tyrone, man. It's my guy. It's my guy, man. The tight end free agent market is not nice. It's not nice at all. Could the Eagles bring back Dallas Goedert? Maybe. Will the Eagles go get David Njoku? Maybe. They need tight end help bad. Let's keep it going. So quarterback, you're good. Running back, you're good. Tight end, you need bodies. You need talent there. Let's go to the offensive line. No, let's go to wide receiver. Wide receiver, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown so far. You got Darius Cooper as your number 3. Okay? You got Johnny Wilson on the roster still. You got Brenton Covey. Brenton Covey's your punt returner. Johnny Wilson coming off of the injury. The Eagles are still high on him. He showed a couple things in preseason, but he has to get back healthy. And I don't know if they're going to try him at tight end. We'll see. He's a big dude. But right now, A.J. Brown, Darius Cooper, Devontae Smith, Johnny Wilson, Brenton Covey. That's your wide receiver room. If everything holds true, I'm not mad at that. You still need bodies there. You need talent there. And Johnny Wilson still has to come and improve it. I like Darius Cooper in the slot. Sorry. I know some people may not be high on him. I think Darius Cooper can play. I really do. He just needs opportunities. He's caught some tough catches for the Eagles in the preseason. And when he had some opportunities in the regular season, he caught the ball. He didn't drop it. But the Eagles can get some more wide receiver depth. They can stand to get some more wide receiver help. And now on the offensive line, left tackle, Jordan Mailata, Miles Hinton. Okay. Left guard, Landon Dickerson, Brett Toth. Center, Cam Jurgens, Drew Kendall, Willie Lampkin. At right guard. Well, I'm sorry, you don't got Brett Toth anymore. Brett Toth is a free agent. So on the roster, Jordan Mailata, Miles Hinton at left tackle, Landon Dickerson at left guard. At center, Cam Jurgens, Drew Kendall, and Willie Lampkin. At right guard, you got Tyler Steen. At right tackle, you got Lane Johnson and Cameron Williams. Fred Johnson is a free agent. So you need more depth on the offensive line. You have to start preparing for life beyond Lane Johnson. Right now, Landon Dickerson's future is still in doubt for me. I know he went to Medellin, Colombia, just like Cam Jurgens, to go get them stem cells, right? Cam and Landon, hey, get healthy, boys. When y'all healthy, you two are one of the best. When you guys are healthy, you're some of the best in the league. We know Landon Dickerson is a 3-year Pro Bowler consecutively. Cam Jurgens, 2 back-to-back years Pro Bowler. Whether he deserved the second one or not, who cares? It is what it is. Cam Jurgens, Pro Bowler. Landon Dickerson, Pro Bowler. Jordan Mailata, All-Pro and Pro Bowler. Lane Johnson, All-Pro and Pro Bowler. Tyler Steen, still ascending, but has to be better this year. He needs more competition. I'll say that. So you need to bring in more bodies on the offensive line. So, if anything, on the offensive side, you need tight end help, you need offensive line help, and maybe you need some more wide receivers. So, let's go through the needs by position. Tight end, offensive line. I think they can use some wide receiver help. Edge rusher, corner, and safety. The Eagles have 9 total draft picks. And I believe they're going to leave free agency with some people. It may not be the big names that we expected, but the Eagles are going to leave free agency with something. Okay? But again, I say, losing Jaelan Phillips to the Panthers, it hurts. But guess what? Eagles were not paying him 4 years, $120 million. The Eagles were not giving him $30 million a year. They were not doing that. Hey, congratulations to the Panthers, but you had Brian Burns in the building a couple years ago. And right now he's making $28 million from the Giants. And just came off of a 16-sack season. Jaelan Phillips, you gave him 30. Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, Falcons, 2 years, $15 million, $10 million guaranteed, average annual salary, $7.5 million. Nakobe Dean signs to the Raiders, 3 years, $36 million, $20 million guaranteed, $12 million average annual salary. Reed Blankenship, safety, signs to the Houston Texans, 3 years, $24.75 million, $16.5 million guaranteed, average annual salary, $8.25 million. The Eagles will get 3 comp picks for losing Jaelan Phillips, Nakobe Dean, and Jahan Dotson for the 2027 NFL Draft. And after losing Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Mekhi Becton, and Isaiah Rodgers to the 2025 free agency period, the Eagles will have 4 additional comp picks for the 2026 NFL Draft. They receive a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. In total, the Eagles have 9 picks. They have a 1st rounder, a 2nd rounder, 2 3rds, 2 4s, 2 5s, and a 6. And they may get another pick for losing Reed Blankenship, which may mean 4 comp picks for the 2027 NFL Draft. What the Eagles have proven that they can do the past handful of years is that they can scout well, they can draft well, and they can develop well. And when you do right by them, they'll pay you if they can. And if they can't pay you, they'll put you in position for you to get paid by somebody else. That is the Eagles' way. Scout you, draft you, develop you, invest in you, build around you, and if they can't do it, they're going to put you in position so somebody else will pay you. That's the Eagles' way right now. And when you're good and you win a lot of football games and you're in the playoffs every year and you win a Super Bowl and you've been to 2 in the past 4 years, people want your players. People want your coaches. The curse of the gifted, I say. So where does Howie Roseman go from here? You paid Jordan Davis. You got to pay Jalen Carter, of course. You got to pay Quinyon next offseason, or at least pick up the 5th-year option, right? You got to pick up the 5th-year option for Cooper DeJean. Are you going to? You got to pick up the 5th-year option for Nolan Smith. What's your long-term plan for Jalix Hunt? Because he's playing very well. And there's a chance he may price himself out of Philadelphia if he keeps doing what he's doing. It's hard to keep guys like this. The Eagles are spending a lot of money on the offensive line. They're going to spend a lot of money on the D-line, in particular D tackle. They're going to spend a lot of money at corner. They're spending a lot of money at wide receiver. They're spending a lot of money at quarterback. They're spending a lot of money at running back. And look, all these guys they're paying deserve it. Let's make that. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. DeJean doesn't have a 5th-year option. My bad. Thank you, Marina. Appreciate it. Overlooked that. Thank you, Marina. Appreciate it. Cooper DeJean does not have a 5th-year option. Sorry, you guys. He played so well. I thought he was the 1st rounder. He played so well I forgot he was a second-round pick. Appreciate you, Marina. Thank you. Totally forgot. Totally forgot. He was playing so freaking well. Forgot he was a second-round pick. I mean, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion. Totally forgot he was a second-round pick. Whoopsie daisy. But the only way you can sustain what the Eagles have been doing is you have to draft well. You have to draft well to maintain what they've been doing. A lot of people always think the Eagles are on borrowed time. And in theory, they should be. But when you draft well and you pay the right people, you're never on borrowed time. You on God's time. Darth Panda with the super chat. Thank you, Darth. He says the Eagles didn't lose any major players, those still on the team. How are we going to come through in the draft and free agency? I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think the Eagles, I mean, Nakobe Dean was, I'm not going to dismiss Nakobe Dean now. Nakobe Dean was integral to that defense. Nakobe Dean was a phenomenal player for the Eagles defense. He was. And Reed Blankenship was solid. He wasn't elite ever, but he was solid. Jaelan Phillips, we saw that he added something to that defense. We saw it. The numbers didn't show it, but we saw the impact. But $30 million worth? Nah, I don't think we got that. I don't think we got that at all. And with Nakobe Dean's play, I knew he was going to get priced out of Philly. I'm happy for him. Reed Blankenship, I'm happy for him too. We remember we was talking about Reed Blankenship's market a couple years ago. Remember that? We was talking about how much Reed Blankenship would get on open market. I think we all argued between 7 to 10 million, or between 5 to 9 million, something like that. We all talked about that, and he got an average salary of 8.25. It's a good payday for him. 16.5 million guaranteed in the bank. That's a good payday for him. Very good payday. Darth Panda back again says Jaquan Brisker and Nick Cross still available at safety. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Married to Designer says, yep, we made Reed. Marina Sand says Dean is not even a top 40 linebacker and Reed is not even a top 90 safety. That's ridiculous to say. Ernest Wallace says losing Vic next year for the long term will hurt. We'll find out, man. We'll find out. You know, we can't really predict. We really can't predict it. Vic is phenomenal what he does. He's in the booth. We're going to see. Spray Steel says, you're going to tell me the Eagles couldn't match that for Reed? Listen, bro. The Eagles got some people they got to pay, man. They got some people they got to pay. They just paid Jordan Davis. They got to pay Jalen Carter. They're going to have to pay Quinyon and Coop. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. They got to figure out Nolan Smith. They got to figure out Jalen Hunt at some point. What you're speaking of isn't as easy as it looks. It's not as easy as it looks. Fresh and Clean with the super chat says, and thank you for the $1.99. He says, we got rid of Reddick and won a Super Bowl. Phillips can go. Hey, good point. Good point. Not mad at it. Not mad at your logic there, Fresh. TDK 2343, my guy. He says, and thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, once a deal with Phillips wasn't done by Monday, I knew he was going. We also knew Dean, Blankenship, and Dotson were going. It's just day one of tampering period, folks. Calm down. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Most of the guys we saw, we knew all these guys potentially would be gone. I knew the Eagles were focusing on Jalen Phillips, though. I knew for a fact Dean was gone. I knew for a fact Dotson was gone. And I knew for a fact Blankenship was gone. I knew that for a fact. But the Jalen Phillips one, I was kind of holding out hope. But part of me was still like, he gonna take the bag. I know he is. He don't owe us nothing. He ain't been here long enough to owe us nothing. So him taking the bag don't surprise me. Especially with his injury history. Yeah, you take the bag. He's not stupid. Whatever the Eagles will offer him, they couldn't match $30 million a year. Listen, I bet you this. I bet you the Eagles actually gave him a realistic number. And the Panthers said, no. Hold my beer. Hey, hold my beer. Hey, Jalen, $30 million. Matter of fact, $80 million guaranteed. $120 million deal. How do you feel about that? And Howie Roseman was the sober mind at the table and say, you know what? You got him. He's all yours. You need a sober mind at the negotiation table. You need a sober mind at the poker table. You need a sober mind at the club. You don't want to bring something home that you're gonna regret. You don't want to lose all your money at the crap table. You don't. I want you guys to understand this. Maybe some of you guys do, maybe you don't. Jalen Phillips, and again, I'm congratulating him. Get your money, big dog. If somebody's willing to pay, that's what you're worth. If that's what you're willing to pay, that's what you're worth. But they had Brian Burns in the building a couple years ago. He's getting paid $28 million right now. A season. They had him in the building. They could have paid Brian Burns, and Brian Burns has been significantly more productive than Jalen Phillips. They're paying more for Jalen Phillips, and he's nowhere near as productive as Brian Burns, the guy they drafted, the guy they had in the building. Listen, like I said, congratulations, Jalen Phillips. Congratulations to him. But I'm telling you this right now. Howie Roseman did the right thing. I'm telling you guys this. Howie Roseman did the right thing. Miss Fanny Woods in the building with the super chat. Thank you, Miss Fanny. She says, what happened to Eli Ricks? Is he still with us? Nope. Eli Ricks is long gone. He's not on this roster, baby. He was not on his roster. Thank you for the super chat, Miss Fanny. But the Eagles do need depth. They do need depth at corner nonetheless. Linda Washington said the Panthers tried to throw the bag at Milton Williams last year, but the Patriots beat them out. And guess what? Milton Williams, so far, has lived up to that contract. He played really well for the Patriots. Let me look at his numbers real quick. Milton Williams, in 2025, he had he actually got hurt last year. I didn't even know that. Milton Williams played 12 games last year. He missed 5 games. He put up 3.5 sacks, 29 total tackles, 8 TFLs, 8 quarterback hits. I mean, that's okay. But they're paying him a lot more money. They're paying him way more money than that production. No, he got to be more productive than that. They paid Milton Williams, and that was his most injury-riddled season. They paid Milton Williams a lot of money. I thought he played more than this. I'm tripping. I didn't know Milton got hurt. Now, I will say this, though. Even though Milton got hurt last year and only played 12 games, he had 3.5 sacks in the regular season, 8 TFLs, 8 quarterback hits when the playoffs started because he came back for the playoffs. He got healthy for the playoffs. He played in all 4 playoff games, had 3 sacks, 7 total tackles, 4 TFLs, 5 quarterback hits, and a pass deflection. Milton Williams showed up in the playoffs for the Patriots. That's what you're paying for anyway. So in theory, out of 21 possible games, Milton Williams gave the Patriots 16 games, 6.5 sacks. What is that? 13 quarterback hits, 12 TFLs. Again, he showed up in the playoffs. Tyrone Rice, my brother, my guy, Ty Rice. Shout out to my man, Ty Rice, man. Shout out to my man. T.Y. My man Ty says, Andrew Nakobe will come back and show his worth. Thank you for the super chat, Ty. I appreciate you. I think Nakobe is going to have a comeback year. I mean, he played, 9 games? Like, what was that? Nakobe played 11 games. He got hurt in one. So, and in 11 games played, Nakobe had 2 interceptions, 3 pass deflections, a half a sack, 46 total tackles, 19 solo, 2 TFLs, 1 quarterback hit. I mean, he took the ball away. He showed some promise. I liked what I saw from Nakobe in year 1. He made some mistakes as a rookie would. But I think Nakobe showed you enough in 2025 to make you feel optimistic about his prospects in 2026. Thank you for the super chat, Ty. I appreciate you, bro. It's my guy, man. Miss Linda Washington, thank you for the super chat. She says here, what do you think Howie will do next? Ooh, well, I don't think he's personally in a rush to pay Jalen Carter. I don't think he's in a rush to do that. Maybe he is, who knows, but I don't think he's in a rush because with Jordan Davis, after year 3, they picked up his 5th-year option. He played his 4th season, and after his 4th season ended, they paid him. So Jalen Carter, I'm going to assume they're following the same pattern. Jalen Carter just finished his 3rd year in the league, right? They're going to pick up his 5th-year option before May 1st. And then into year 4, he'll play. And then at that point, the Eagles will use that to determine his value because they're going to have him under contract for year 5. Whatever contract they give him, they're going to convert year 5 into bonus money, bring that cap hit down, and they're going to do the same thing with Quinyon and Coop. That's how I see it. But his next move, I think Howie Roseman makes a move tomorrow. Because right now we're in the legal tampering period. So all these contracts we're seeing, they haven't officially been signed yet. They've been agreed to, but none of these contracts have been officially signed. They won't officially be able to sign these contracts until March 11th. So, the first day is always that big day, a lot of money being spent on day 1. A lot of bad teams trying to get better, throwing all their money at the wall, hoping it sticks. But trust me, just because you spent the money doesn't mean it pans out. That's the truth, you guys. I don't want you guys to think because the Eagles haven't spent the money, that means that they're sitting on their hands or they're just ball watching. They're just watching things happen. They're not trying to make a move. They don't have a plan. I think this is a moment where Howie Roseman cannot afford to be eager or over-eager. He has to be diligent. He has to be calculated. He has to be intentional. Because you got a lot of young guys that you drafted that you're going to have to pay soon. And you have to figure out what the future is for A.J. Brown. Does he want to be here or does he not want to be here? All I know is the AJ Brown conversations have gotten quiet because I'm seeing a lot of wide receiver. I'm seeing a lot of wide receiver movement right now. I'm seeing a lot of wide receiver movement, and none of their names are AJ Brown. None of them. If I'm just looking at the wide receiver position right now, as far as free agency goes, Alec Pierce signed a massive deal with the Colts. 4 years, 114 million, 84 million in total guarantees. Wan'Dale Robinson signed to the Tennessee Titans. 4 years, 78 million, 38 million guaranteed. Rashid Shaheed signed an extension with the Seahawks. 3 years, 51 million. Average salary of 17 million. Wan'Dale Robinson, average salary of 19.5 million. Alec Pierce, average salary 28.5. Mike Evans just signed with the San Francisco 49ers. 3 years, 42.4 million. 16.3 million in total guarantees. Average annual salary of 14.1 million. He's older too. Jalen Naylor from the Vikings signed a contract with the Raiders. 3 years, 35 million, 23 million guaranteed, average annual salary 11.6 million. Kendrick Bourne from the Niners signed a deal with the Cardinals. 2 years, 11.4 million, average salary of 5.7 million. So, and on top of that, as far as transactions go, because let's look at the transactions, right? When you look at transactions for wide receivers, you see Michael Pittman being traded from the Colts to the Steelers. He signed a 3-year extension worth $59 million. Olamide Zaccheaus signed a contract with the Falcons. Isaiah Hodgins signed a contract with the New York Giants. So, look, we also saw what else happened. What else happened at the wide receiver position? I can't remember. I cannot remember. Oh, DJ Moore. DJ Moore gets traded from the Bears to the Bills. So, look, will AJ Brown be here? Strong possibility. When you think about the kind of money his contract demands. The AJ Brown contract is not a sweet contract to move on from. I need people to understand that too. Like, does the AJ Brown stuff make me uncomfortable? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the narrative surrounding it. I don't like the fodder. Do I think if he stays, do the conversations go away? I don't know. I don't think so. But after what we experienced the past 2 years, winning a Super Bowl, AJ Brown voicing his frustrations with the offense in 2 consecutive seasons, I think if AJ Brown stays, all that nonsense has to be quiet. But at the same time, it won't. It's going to carry over into the trade deadline, especially if the Eagles are struggling or they feel like they need to make a move or they have a need, right? It's the AJ Brown conversation should stop if he stays, but it won't. That's the thing. The AJ Brown conversation, if he stays, should stop because after how the past 2 years went, if they ain't trade him then you gotta let it go. But they won't let it go. because it's a sexy conversation to have. The AJ Brown contract is not easy to move on from. Let me put this in perspective. The AJ Brown contract currently carries a $72.5 million dead cap hit. $72.5 million. Think about that. They just gave him a 3-year extension worth $96 million. Trading AJ Brown would gut you. It would gut you. Trading AJ Brown would gut you. You do not want that to happen. You really don't. It'll hurt you. It'll hurt you from a personnel standpoint, and it will hurt you from a cap standpoint. And you're not going to convince a team to take that contract off your hands and give you a first, especially when AJ Brown's 28 going on 29. You're not going to convince a team to do that. You gotta not only convince them to give you a first-round pick, you gotta convince them to take the bulk of that contract on their books so you don't take the dead cap hit. And he's 28 going on 29 with a nagging knee and nagging hamstring. Coming off of one of his worst games of his career. You can't convince me that a team is going to be willing to do that. You can't convince me of that. So as of right now, I don't think AJ is going anywhere right now. When you put all the variables into the pot of gumbo, the dead cap hit, the nagging knee and nagging hamstring, that's not fake. That's not hearsay. That's the truth. 28 going on 29. You want a first-round pick also? Not an easy conversation to have. Andrew Tiger says DJ Moore went for a second. Why not AJ Brown? Well, why, you ask? DJ Moore it's funny. DJ Moore and AJ Brown are the same age. DJ Moore is 28 and AJ Brown's 28. As a matter of fact, DJ Moore is older than AJ. DJ Moore is older than AJ, technically. So to your point, right? Andrew Tiger says DJ Moore went for a second. Why not AJ Brown? Well, DJ Moore, for starters, hasn't missed a game in 5 consecutive seasons. For starters, DJ Moore hasn't missed a game in 5 consecutive seasons. Y'all don't believe that, do y'all? Y'all don't believe that one, huh? Yeah. Hard to believe, right? Go look it up. So, Miss Fanny, you're a little off there. DJ Moore hasn't missed a game in 5 consecutive seasons. And I think AJ Brown is better than DJ Moore. But the DJ Moore contract was easier to move than the AJ Brown one. Am I off? Am I off in my estimation? That's not the point, Andrew Tiger. It's about value. Andrew Tiger says AJ Brown has better stats and played less games. You're missing the point. A.J. Brown, from a talent perspective, is worth a first-round pick. He is. He is. The problem is A.J. Brown, if you trade him, has a massive dead cap hit on the Eagles. Again, this is about negotiating. This is about business. We know A.J. Brown is better than DJ Moore. We know that. It's not even a conversation. We know that. But guess what? DJ Moore has been healthier than A.J. Brown. That's one thing. DJ Moore has a significantly less dead cap hit if you moved him than A.J. That's that. And the Bills got him for a second-round pick. You want, in theory, if the Eagles were trying to trade A.J. Brown, that's why the Eagles' price tag for A.J. is high. It's high because they know exactly what they're doing. They know a team is not going to meet them there. They're aware of this. They're very much aware that a team is not going to meet them there. They want a first-round pick for A.J. Brown. They also want a team to pick up the bulk of that contract. Come on, man. They know no team is going to pull the trigger on that. And if they do pull the trigger, okay, all right. But they got to take the money too. It's not going to be, you get what I'm trying to say, Andrew? They made the price tag as high as they did because they know a team is not going to pull that trigger. Any smart team, that is. Any GM worth his salt is not going to make that move. And this has nothing to do with A.J. Brown's talent. This has nothing to do with A.J. Brown's skill set. This has nothing to do with A.J. Brown's competency at football. This has nothing to do with A.J. Brown's production. This has nothing to do with A.J. Brown playing his worst game of his career in that playoff game. This has nothing to do with any of those things. Right? So when our guy Andrew Tiger says, yes, but we can just say we're not trading him. Why? They didn't say they wanted to. They didn't say they were. This is Howie Roseman's the GM. This is business. If somebody called you, you got to hear what they're talking about. That doesn't mean that you're going to trade them. That doesn't even mean you want to trade them. Just because they're willing to listen doesn't mean they want to make the deal. If somebody's willing to give you a first and a second for a 28 going on 29-year wide receiver and take the money, you pull that trigger. You pull that trigger. But they know. See, that's why. Sometimes you got to test people gangster. Sometimes you got to test how serious people are. Because, like people talk about, oh, yeah, A.J. Brown, if he was available, I'll go get him. Sometimes you got to test people. Oh, you want him? Okay, first round pick. Oh, you want him? You got to pick up some of that contract too. You want him that bad? Let me see. Let me test your gangster. Let me pull your card. Let me call you a bluff. But all it takes is a psychopath to come to the crap table and say, hey, Howie, let me call your bluff. You want a first round pick for AJ? Here you go. You want me to take the money? Here you go. I'll pick up the contract. Oh, you want a player? Okay. Here you go. You see, Howie Roseman, as much as I understand what he's doing, one may call it a dangerous game. Maybe the Eagles don't want to trade A.J. Brown. But if somebody meet that asking price, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? If somebody pull your card, if somebody call you a bluff, Howie, what you gonna do? That's where things get interesting. We know damn well that price tag was crazy. Now, the DJ Moore trade made his price tag more viable. It made it make more sense. When you see DJ Moore go for a second round pick, people instantly say, oh, well, if DJ Moore went for a second, AJ Brown definitely got to be worth a first, right? Yeah, absolutely. So now Howie Roseman doesn't look as crazy. Howie doesn't look as crazy now, charging the field a first round pick for AJ Brown. He don't look as crazy after you see DJ Moore get traded for a second. He don't look that crazy. So now the question becomes, who's willing to meet that price tag? And I don't think a team is willing to pull the trigger as much as they want us to believe. You know, we've talked about the Patriots. They don't want to pull that trigger. Their GM is too smart. What is it, Sam Casario? Who's over there? Who's the GM for the Patriots right now? Elliott Wolf. No, Casario is the Houston Texans GM. Sam Casario used to work for the Patriots. Nick Casario. I said Sam. Nick Casario. He used to be on the Patriots. But the GM, but Elliott Wolf. I heard the Chargers are looking into the AJ thing. Okay. I mean, the Chargers are stupid. So, who knows? But the Eagles told you. Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni told you. They don't want to move AJ Brown. You know, on the outside looking in, people think AJ Brown is a problem for the Eagles. On the outside looking in, people think AJ Brown is a problem for the Eagles. They do. But inside that building, the team, the coaches, the front office people, the janitors, they love him. Now, look, you can't please everybody, right? So it is overzealous to pretend the entire building loves AJ Brown. I'm sure there are teammates on that team who don't like AJ Brown's methods. But when you are as good as him, you play as well as him, and you're voted a team captain, as a matter of fact, keep that in mind. He's voted a team captain, what, 3 consecutive years? 3 consecutive seasons, 2 consecutive seasons, he's been voted a team captain. Yeah, 3 consecutive years. And you want me to believe that he is a detriment to their locker room. Remember, players vote on this. Players are voting for their captain. And they voted AJ Brown to be their team captain 3 consecutive years, I believe. Y'all be the judge, though. Has AJ Brown criticized the direction of the offense? He has. Has he been wrong? No. And you know he's not wrong because of how Howie Roseman approached his coaching staff this offseason. He completely retooled, completely rebuilt that offensive coaching staff with a bunch of young guns. Nick Sirianni still at the helm as the head coach. But he brought in a bunch of young guns. An ascending coach in Sean Mannion, Josh Grizzard, who's earned his keep, Gerard Johnson. They still got what's the guy's name? I can't remember his name. But yeah, they brought in a new O-line coach. Howie Roseman showed you how he views this thing. He's showing you. I understand the criticism of AJ Brown from the fans. A lot of people feel like he wasn't fully committed. But if you ask me, I don't think that entire offense was fully committed. If you ask me. I don't think that offense was committed to what Kevin Patullo was asking of them. You see, AJ Brown is the easy target. But if you watch, I don't believe that offense was committed to freaking Kevin Patullo as a whole. That's how I view it. But because AJ Brown said something, he put the target on his back. But he said that though. He said he'll wear that. So it is what it is. Make sure you guys smash that like button, by the way. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We've been live for almost an hour and 40 minutes, man. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate the love and the support. You guys have been fantastic. We're going to close the show out pretty soon. So make sure you guys stay active, get active, man. I really do appreciate the love and the support. Let me make sure I got through all my super chats, and I did. So yeah, man. Just to do a quick recap of what happened today for the Eagles. Jaelan Phillips, or not in the Eagles' favor, I guess you'll say. Jaelan Phillips, edge rusher, signed to the Carolina Panthers, 4 years, $120 million, $80 million guaranteed, a $30 million average annual salary. Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, signs to the Atlanta Falcons, 2 years, $15 million, $10 million guaranteed, average salary of $7.5 million. Nakobe Dean, linebacker, signs to the Las Vegas Raiders, 3 years, $36 million, $20 million fully guaranteed, an average salary of $12 million. Reed Blankenship signs to the Houston Texans, 3 years, $24.75 million, $16.5 million fully guaranteed, and $8.25 million average annual salary. After losing those players, the Philadelphia Eagles will get 3 comp picks for the 2027 NFL draft after losing Jaelan Phillips, Nakobe Dean, and Jahan Dotson. For the 2026 NFL draft, because they lost Milton Williams to the Patriots, Josh Sweat to the Cardinals, Mekhi Becton to the Chargers, and Isaiah Rodgers to the Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles will get 4 comp picks for the 2026 NFL draft. That gives the Eagles a total of 9 picks in 2026. They have a first rounder, a second rounder, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and a 6th round pick. So the Philadelphia Eagles are in good shape on draft night. They have a lot of capital to play around with. They have a lot of flexibility on draft night as well. Will they make a move in free agency? That all remains to be seen. They need tight end help. They need offensive line help. I think they can use some wide receiver help as well. Just some depth. They need edge rusher help. They need cornerback help. And they need safety help. Those are going to be the 3 positions I'm going to be watching. Wide receiver is at the bottom of that list. And edge rusher and corner are at the top of that list. In between, you got safety and offensive line for me and tight end. But personally, I think the Eagles are probably going to sign a tight end in free agency. They're probably going to draft one as well and probably bring in another one as an undrafted free agent. They're likely going to draft a handful of offensive linemen. They're going to draft some edge rushers. They're going to draft some DBs. They may leave the draft with one wide receiver. Who knows? Just revisiting free agency. As of right now, as far as guys who got paid, Alec Pierce got paid from the Colts, 4 years, $114 million, $84 million guaranteed. Odafe Owe from the Chargers signed to the Washington Commanders. He's an edge rusher, 4 years, $100 million, $68 million guaranteed. Tyler Linderbaum, center, 3 years, $81 million in total guarantees from the Las Vegas Raiders. Wan'Dale Robinson signs to the Tennessee Titans, wide receiver, 4 years, $78 million, $38 million fully guaranteed. Malik Willis, quarterback, signs a 3-year deal with the Miami Dolphins, $67.5 million, $45 million guaranteed. Defensive lineman John Franklin Myers signs a 3-year deal with the Titans, $63 million, $42 million guaranteed. David Edwards, offensive lineman, signs a 4-year deal with the Saints, $61 million, an average annual salary of $15.25 million. Alante Taylor, cornerback, signs with the Tennessee Titans, 3 years, $60 million, $42 million guaranteed. Boye Mafe, edge rusher, signs with the Cincinnati Bengals, $60 million, an average annual salary of $20 million. Running back, Travis Etienne, signs with the Saints, 4 years, $52 million, average annual salary of $13 million. Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver, re-signs with the Seahawks, 3 years, $51 million, average annual salary of $17 million. Cornerback Jaelan Watson signs with the Los Angeles Rams. Now the Rams have 2 Chiefs corners. Remember, they traded for Trent McDuffie, gave him a massive contract. Now they signed another Chiefs corner, Jaelan Watson, 3 years, $51 million, $34 million guaranteed. Offensive lineman Zion Johnson signs with the Cleveland Browns, 3 years, $49.5 million, $32.3 guaranteed. Kwity Paye, former first-round pick for the Colts, signs with the Las Vegas Raiders. Edge rusher signs a 3-year deal, $48 million, $32 million guaranteed. Cordell Flott, corner for the signs to the Tennessee Titans, 3 years, $45 million, $32 million guaranteed. Kenneth Walker III, Super Bowl MVP running back, signs a 3-year deal with the Chiefs, $43 million, $28.7 fully guaranteed, a $14.35 million average annual salary. Mike Evans, wide receiver, legend, Hall of Famer, leaves the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the first time in his career, signs to the San Francisco 49ers. 3 years, $42.4 million, total guarantees of $16.3, average annual salary of $14.1 million. Quay Walker, linebacker drafted by the Green Bay Packers, signs to the Vegas Raiders. 3 years, $40 million, average annual salary $13.5, total guarantees of $28 million. Brian Cook, safety, signs to the Cincinnati Bengals. $40.25 million in total, $14 million in total guarantees. Isaiah Likely, tight end, signs with the Giants. 3 years, $40 million, average salary of $13.3 million. Kobe Bryant, safety, signs with the Bears. $40 million in total, 3 years, total guarantees $25.75 million. Offensive lineman Jermaine Eleanor signs with the Giants. 3 years, $39 million, $25.45 total guarantees. Edge rusher Jermont Jones leaves the Ravens, goes to the Patriots. 3 years, $36.5 million total guarantees, $23.1 million. Tremaine Edmonds, former Pro Bowl linebacker for the Bears, signs with the Giants. Linebacker, 3 years, $36 million, $23.7 million guaranteed. We already talked about Nakobe Dean. We talked about Jalen Naylor. They both went to the Raiders. Joseph Asai, edge rusher, 3 years, goes to the Jets, $34.5 million in total, $22.49 in total guarantees. Let's see here. Safety, Jalen Thompson, signs with the Cowboys. 3 years, $33 million, $22 million guaranteed. Offensive lineman Isaac Seumalo signs a 3-year deal with the Cardinals, $31.5 million in total. Average annual salary, $10.5 million. Eric Stokes re-signs with the Raiders. 3 years, $30 million, $20 million guaranteed. John Simpson, offensive lineman, signs a 3-year deal with the Ravens. $30 million, average annual salary, $10 million. Tyler Biadasz signs a deal with the Chargers. He's a center. 3 years, $30 million, average annual salary, $10 million. Cade Otton re-signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tight end, 3 years, $30 million, $20 million guaranteed. So I can go on and on and on. But a lot of money has been spent today. And not once have we seen the Eagles make a big move outside of extending Jordan Davis. And I understand a lot of you guys are concerned. But Howie Roseman has proven that he knows what he's doing. And I'm going to continue to trust in Howie Roseman. 9 draft picks, a first, a second, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and a 6. I think the Eagles still have a talented defense with Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith, Zack Baun, Jahai Campbell, Trotter Jr., Smile Mondon, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Andrew Nakobe. I think they still got talent on that side of the ball. They got to fill in the gaps, though. They need more depth at corner. They need more talent at corner. They need more talent at safety. They need more talent on the edge. We're not going to pretend like that's not a real thing. So we're going to see how that goes. They need to fortify that offensive line. They need bodies at tight end badly. And maybe they could use another wide receiver on the roster. But I trust Howie Roseman to get it done. And that's how I see it. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. You guys have been fantastic. And I do not take your presence here for granted. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.